you in here.
Yeah, it's meant to be
great.
a
Hi,
little
everybody.
house. You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
No.
Yeah, the idea is that you can take a nap if you want.
Oh, great.
Or you can spin the globe.
Or
There
it can
you
be
go.
like the psychiatrist's office.
It's exactly how.
So.
Yeah. How did you feel when you were 9 years old?
Right.
Okay, so to start off with, take a look at this little thing. How do you feel about looking a little bit like Daniel
See,
Radcliffe?
with the facial hair.
Yeah,
for sure.
I know, he's copying you.
It is, and I think we both have the same issue, which is that we can't really grow it. But we try.
It's nice though, you've really cultivated quite the area under here.
It's not bad. Here is good.
Yeah, this
The chin
region
strap,
particularly, the cheeks less so.
Yeah.
Do people often mistake you for Daniel Radcliffe? I imagine they mistake him for you.
I've heard that, yeah. He apparently does get mistaken for me, and vice versa. Yeah, it's happened since the Lord of the Rings, you know, and obviously the Harry Potter movies came out around the same time, so there was that comparison. But it's funny, it happens to this day. There was actually one time I was on an elevator. You know that thing when you're in an elevator and it's just one other person?
Yeah, always
and
awkward.
You kind of pay
I always
attention,
look at my
pull out your phone.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's this.
Or you're looking at the numbers descending.
And you're like, really? 7 to
We're
6?
almost to the lobby now. You know, and so I just saw out of the corner of my eye, this guy was kind of like building up the courage to say something.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we landed at the lobby floor, he like burst out with it and just said, Harry Potter.
Oh.
And I said, no. We're on my way.
Amazing.
It was hilarious.
So in your intro there, it says that you own thousands of CDs. Are you an avid music collector?
Yeah, I am. I've got, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 or 5,000 CDs.
Where do you get them from? Because I'm in New York, I'm new to New York. I've been trying to find a place to buy music other than iTunes, and Virgin Megastore's closed down now.
I know.
I can't find any.
Well, the indie stores are so much better, though. And I've actually been buying a lot of vinyl. I think it's hard now, with the fact that we have our iTunes or just computer music, iPods. I find that I don't really listen to CDs anymore. And it seems silly to buy more when I don't have a place to put them as it is.
Right.
So I buy a lot of vinyl.
I love the vinyl covers are much better as well.
And it sounds better. And it's ultimately more collectible and beautiful. There's a great store in the East Village called Tropicalia and Furs that you should check out. It's actually a Brazilian record store.
Oh, amazing.
It's like an education every time I go in. This guy, Joel, owns the store, and I walk in, and I have to go in with at least 2 hours to spare.
Real nice.
Because he just wants to play music, and I walk out with like all this amazing new knowledge.
And vinyl's so much better because you can play the game where you put it in front of your face, and you can't do that with the CD unless you hold it closer to someone else's face.
Have you seen all those online with the...
Yeah, we did it the other week.
Did you?
Yeah, it's really fun. So most celebrities try and not give out their personal information, but you've actually given out your DNA. For something. Tell me about that. You actually gifted your DNA to the world.
Well, DNA 11 is this amazing company that takes your DNA or your fingerprint and turns it into a piece of art. Literally, the DNA, there's a photo. That's my DNA.
Happy. So that's a painting of your DNA.
It's beautiful, right?
It's lovely.
And each strand
you've got beautiful
correlates.
DNA.
Thank you.
It's really stunning.
Thank you.
It's like a skyline.
But each strand correlates to, you know, your heart, your hair, your brain, like all the, it's quite fascinating, actually. And essentially, you know, they do a swab of the inside of your mouth. You send that, like, swabbed piece of paper to them, and then they create
So you send your
this.
spitty piece of paper in a tube to someone, and they rejoice at the other end, like, thanks.
So I've essentially done that in support. That piece is going to be auctioned off for a children's charity called Art of Elysium in Los Angeles.
It's helping.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's pretty wonderful.
You're the voice of the new animated movie 9. It's rated PG-13 though, so how come young people aren't allowed to watch it? What's so risky about it?
It is PG-13, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little bit darker than your average animated film.
It is in the background there. It's so it's quite dark, yeah.
I don't even need to speak to its darkness.
And Tim Burton's involved?
Tim Burton is the executive producer on the film.
Amazing.
It's beautiful. I mean, it deals with themes that are a little bit darker than your average animated film. I mean, it's ultimately about a post-apocalyptic world where man has been destroyed by machines of his own making. These animated ragdolls, these sort of mechanized ragdolls, are all that's left, and these machines. So it deals with themes like technology being our ruin, you know, ultimately humanity finding a way in the midst of nothing. So
and they don't want under 13-years to know that yet.
But I think I think kids are a lot more sophisticated than we give them credit for. So,
yeah,
you know, I can imagine 6- and 7-year-olds being able to handle it.
Indeed. I've got a surprise for you.
No.
I've got a little present for you.
What?
Yeah, it's just the gift that keeps on giving, this show. I heard you really like the Beatles, so I've got you the new Beatles rock band game. There it is. Not just that. Not only that, but you get the whole, guys, if you could step aside, you've got the whole bundle there. You've got the guitars,
that's fantastic.
all the machinery to go with it.
I love that they've completely recreated
I
like, the
know.
Gretsch.
That's McCartney's.
The McCartney bass. It's so beautiful.
It's very good. So
I'm a huge, huge Beatles fan. Like,
Are you?
I've been counting the days, mainly for this, and on the same day, tomorrow, the Beatles albums are remastered for the first time since 1987. So
this game comes out tomorrow, so you get it tonight, and you can go and play it before anyone else can. So that's pretty good, isn't it?
That's really sweet.
Elijah, thank you so much for coming on. It was lovely to meet you. 9, as in the number 9, is in theatres tomorrow, which appropriately is the 9th of 909. So I'll see you in a minute after the break.